Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. Made a video over the weekend about traders' New Year's resolution. Check that out on the YouTube channel if you haven't seen it yet. So Bitcoin looking a little bit toppy. We did see multiple daily inside bars break bullish for another leg up. Was this a daily trend change? Not by my criteria. In my criteria, you cannot have a daily trend change where the pattern is a higher low every single candle on the way up. You have to break that pattern for a clear enough pivot point for a higher low to be established. And if we condense this down to the 2-day time frame, you can see what I mean. And we would need to see what would shape up to be an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 2-day time frame, where we have our left shoulder. I would say our neckline is up at 78.70. This would be our head. Now we might be forming our right shoulder. So if we reject from 78.70, which is looking like we may be doing now, and if we follow through, we will need a higher low compared to 64.30. Bulls have plenty of space to work with, so we will anticipate that higher low is likely. And then we need to change the trend. So we are watching, let's draw it a little bit more smooth. We are watching for the inverse head and shoulders pattern to give us a daily trend change and some follow through. People like to talk about the futures gaps, which generally fill. We have a futures gap in the $11,000 range, and we just created a futures gap that daily consolidation to form a higher low would end up filling. 4-hour bull flag just recently was confirmed straight into a bear break with some bear volume behind it. So now we're watching. We know that the bulls lost their momentum. Can the bears follow through now? We need an hourly lower high and lower low for to be in an hourly downtrend. And then eventually we need a 4-hour lower high and lower low for significant daily consolidation to be underway. So I am still remaining patient. Definitely some missed opportunity in terms of going bullish over the weekend, but I had a really good stock week and I was not looking to trade. Congrats to those that took advantage of it. Just a really low risk trade where we have an equilibrium taking place, a higher low formed at 70.99. So if you made an entry anywhere between 70.44 and 72.20, you put your stop, let's just say we entered at 7,100, and you put your stop below 70.44, you're risking maybe $60. And of course the reward ended up being $500+. So a good risk to reward scenario to get a little bit more upside. But at this point, I am continuing to patiently wait for a daily trend change for me to be interested as a bull. I may look to enter on a daily higher low. Again, I do like that 2-day time frame better than the daily chart, because that daily chart is going to confuse people with that sideways trading, which isn't there on the 2-day time frame. It's clear that a trend change is still needed here. So that's what I'm watching for in the coming days, but I do need more proof from the bears that our top has been set for now. So now we're looking at other names, and we're watching the altcoin space. Look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We cleared exponential resistances. They're now support. Ethereum is a much weaker bounce. High of the bounce initially was 134.81, and we only just barely broke that, and we're rejecting from the daily exponential resistance yet again. The bulls are proving nothing to us, bigger picture, and if we zoom out and use the 2-day time frame here, again, much weaker bounce. Why is that the case? Because the ETH-BTC pairing is dumping. And again, the weekly time frame had the equilibrium we were watching. The weekly bear break occurred at 1891, and now we're getting significant follow through with 1614, the only support nearby. We will be watching for a daily oversold bounce play in this ETH-BTC pairing shortly, but I personally would have no interest in that bounce because the bears have full control on the longer term time frames. Litecoin is the same, a little bit stronger, testing daily exponential resistances on this bounce attempt. Still has to change the daily trend just like Bitcoin. LTC BTC chart not doing anything for the bulls, and the weekly chart here is still just a lower high, lower low pattern. The Bitcoin dominance chart is a monthly bull flag. The burden of proof is on the altcoin space to fail to break, well, I should say the altcoin space to see enough buying pressure where it takes away from Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin would have to fail 72.90 here and drop down and break 67.14 for the altcoin bulls to get a nice shift in momentum and favor. We are currently over $3 above support. We are $3.35 or so above support, and we are currently 40 cents below resistance. We are much closer to this monthly bull flag being confirmed than we are to it being negated. So if this confirms, Bitcoin dominance will continue to increase, and the play for bulls will be Bitcoin. and altcoins will continue to suffer as long as this monthly uptrend remains intact. That's something I'm watching for. XRP USD has a nice tightening range. Again, nowhere near the size of the bounce that Bitcoin has been seeing, but a nice 4-hour triple top to be watching. And actually, it's more like clear lower highs, but 19.9 and 19.91 and 19.94, a little bit of a double top. We're now pulling back. If you wanted to condense this down and look at it on the 12-hour time frame, the most important support to me would be 19.1 here. If 19.1 breaks, we have our low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, double top. That would be a bear break if 19.1 breaks. There's a potential playoff of 19.1 support because if it holds, we remain in this tightening range and we would then look back up to that resistance just under 20 cents. That being said, you know I'm bearish XRP if you've been watching these videos because it is clearly, technically, the weakest name that we cover, dropping to its lowest price in years most recently. And again, this bounce without even 2 green days in a row is proving absolutely nothing. So what we do have is a nice tightening 12-hour range to be watching, clear resistance levels. If Bitcoin has topped out and does see daily consolidation from here, we will be looking at XRP to fade back down into the 18s or even the 17s. So all depends on which direction this tightening range breaks, but a clear double top just under 20 cents. BNB is also a very weak bounce attempt, and you'll note that every bounce attempt that we looked at compared to Bitcoin is weaker. Daily exponential resistance, rejecting the price yet again. Bulls would have to top out, come down, hold 12.11, and then get over these daily exponential resistances and change the daily trend for it to have any meaning, because right now it's a very weak bounce attempt that is proving nothing for the bulls. It just cooled off RSI. RSI was down at 20 essentially, and now it's cooled all the way off to 40 with bulls not proving much bigger picture. Link USD, weak bounce, daily exponential resistance. Anything under 12, 13, 12, 12 was just a daily lower high. So again, if we top out here and lose the 4-hour uptrend, which we haven't lost just yet, but if we do, then we have to come down, hold the low, and try and change the daily trend and get over these exponential resistances, which the bulls have been unable to do. XTZ USD, tightening range. We did see a 4-hour bear break with no bear follow through. And we essentially double bottomed at 143 and then shifted momentum. The most important resistances for me short term are 165 and 161. Anything under 161 is just another lower high. And the bulls have to hold 144 and 143. And again, if we change time frames, we can condense it down a little bit. This is the 12-hour chart, which looks like a triple bottom of support, but still a clear lower high pattern on the 12-hour chart as well. You could call this a descending triangle. And we will be looking for a break sometime in the next 2 days, another tightening range to be keeping an eye on. And again, it is a much different daily setup than everybody else that we look at correlated to Bitcoin. Matic USD. So we have a tightening 4-hour pattern here. Just if you are trading Matic bullish or bearish, whatever direction you're trading it, if you have a stop, anticipate slippage because that's what we've seen multiple times now. We have our low, high, double bottom, and now just a clear tightening range. Key resistance 1628 and 1687, and key support is 0.015. So bulls holding that for a third time right now. Anything under 1628 is just a lower high, staying in the tightening range. But again, just another name that is worth watching for a break that is likely to happen sometime in the next 24 hours or so. So there's a couple tightening ranges out there on different time frames. We have the 4-hour time frame on Matic. We have the 12-hour time frame on XTZ. We have a 12-hour time frame on XRP. Other than that, it's all about the bears. Can the bears prove to us that our top is set now and break the low of today, tomorrow on Bitcoin, and need to set that daily higher low? 2-day time frame for the most clarity. 2-day trend change increases the odds significantly that our monthly higher low would be set. And if we end this month and then break the high of this month, first thing next month, it's going to break the pattern of a lower high every month. And we're then going to be looking for a monthly lower high compared to 13,800. So lots to be watching. Congrats to the bulls that did take advantage of that move. Little bit of a shift in momentum away from the short-term bulls. And the question into tomorrow is, can the bears follow through with that? Lose 4-hour exponential support, see 4-hour trend change with a lower high and lower low. That's what I'm watching for the next 24 hours or so. Thanks for tuning in. Do good things out there this holiday season, and we will see you in the near-term future.